Okay. Yeah, we'll bring that.
He said every case is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Something like that, but generally.
Okay.
With us. He's very high on Drury as a character person, as well as the defensive traits he's got.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody asked him about his evaluation of Drury and Svetchman. I would have loved to hear his perspective. He follows them from the outside.
Yeah.
Why was he willing? I do think the flexibility key thing is one thing we didn't bring up yesterday, and I think we should bring to the table today. That this is what happens with a lot of the first round picks. You get to the point you can't send them down to Milwaukee anymore.
Yeah.
They're big boys.
Yeah.
They have to stay or you waive them and it's stolen.
Yeah.
So you get nothing for them.
Hello. All right. Connor sent the restream. Should be in your emails.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Connor Newt as well. We are live at First Horizon Park, where the Nashville Sounds will take on the Gwinnett Stripers. First pitch at 6:35 today. And as always, you can hear our coverage of Nashville Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. Just a reminder for all of you hip youngsters out there, it is wristband mixer night here at the Sounds game. So if you're single and or ready to mingle, now is the time. Well, not now because the stadium isn't open yet and nobody's here except for us and the players. So nobody's here to mingle with you right now, but maybe later. And I'm wondering something. I was thinking about this earlier, guys. I'm wondering how many of our listeners have actually met their significant others at a mixer, because I think about speed dating, and I feel like speed dating is only a plot device in sitcoms. I've never met anybody who's actually done speed dating before. Have you?
I've
do
never
not know.
met anyone that has done speed dating.
I feel like it's like I
or
said.
went to a mixer to meet someone.
Right. Like I said, I feel like it's only a plot device in a sitcom. You gotta go on a speed dating
We know it
something or other.
exists, but
Yes.
we just don't have firsthand knowledge or firsthand,
Experience.
people that we know
Yeah.
that have done it.
Yes.
But when we were growing up, they didn't have all that. When we were in our 20s and
Yeah,
you
you
know,
guys
somewhere
actually had
around
to
there.
go out and
yeah,
talk to
so
people.
we didn't have that. So now it may be more prevalent now. They may have mixers all around town that we just don't know about.
Yeah, maybe.
Specifically the speed dating thing.
Yes.
That's pretty unique. I don't know does this qualify as speed dating, or
No,
is this
it's not.
it's a little nuance thing? It's creative. And look, if the worst thing is you come to a baseball game, you have a good time, that's worth it.
Fruit brewskis.
Couple brewskis,
Some hot dogs.
throw a couple cornholes.
Yeah.
Like I like to say, this show loves love. Long-term love, short-term love, whatever's in between. We love love on the program. So
Jeremiah Love
we,
for a while.
we did love Jeremiah
It
Love
just didn't happen.
for months.
It
man.
wasn't for a lack of love.
Oh
Yes,
man,
definitely.
what could have been? No disrespect to Carnell Tate, who looks like he's going to be a fun player to watch, but man, we got excited about the idea of Jeremiah Love, and now he goes off to the abyss, aka the Arizona Cardinals, where we'll never hear from him again. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure he'll be a great player. Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet NHL insider, will join us at 5 o'clock. Nothing going on in the NHL, so I'm sure we will have a hard time coming up with topics to discuss with
There
Elliotte
haven't been any
Friedman.
trades or anything.
Yeah. First round of the NHL draft is tomorrow night. We will get into the Predators in the 4 o'clock hour. Chris McFarland addressed reporters today. Some interesting things that he brought up. So we'll get into that in the 4 o'clock hour.
And just to preview, he did about a 20-minute press conference today. Took the questions. I would say, and this is not surprising, about 10% of it had to do with the draft. I mean, it's basically, we'll look at all the things. We might make some trades for swapping picks, but we're likely to pick 10th. And then it was, okay, tell me about Ross Colton. Tell me about Jack Drury. Tell me about the direction of the franchise. What about the new GM? So all of these new things, it was an opportunity. And I thought the panel today that went there and was asking the questions, they asked some good stuff. I thought it was insightful.
Skylar says, swinger party at the Sounds game? Sounds like a wild night. No.
Swinging the bat. The
Yes.
sounds will be
Yes,
swinging.
yes,
Hopefully
absolutely.
effective.
There will be swinging
Yes.
here at First Horizon Park.
We can guarantee that.
Yes. For at least a few hours. The average length of a baseball game.
Right.
There
After
will
the
be
baseball
swinging.
game ends, whatever swinging happens
Yeah,
is going to
that's-
happen, but we can't promise that one way or the other.
That's not under our
Because
purview.
there is a wristband color for the married couple, right, to show up.
I've
Is
got
that a code of any kind? I'm not speculating. I'm just, it's out there. It's the color.
I
Which color determines right?
It's if you're smoking for it, you have a
Yeah, you're
certain
right.
color wristband.
All
You're
right,
right. You're
okay.
absolutely
Let's
right.
go over the code.
there's blue for single, green for taken,
Uh-huh.
red for it's complicated, orange for wing person, and yellow here for the vibes.
So green.
Spoken
Green.
for.
Yeah, spoken for. So why are you here?
Well, does the green imply that we're here for the, I don't know.
So can just one of y'all be there?
people here
Like
look.
if you blend the it's complicated with the green.
Yes.
Yeah.
you have something there, like,
you may have something
yeah.
right there.
If
Blend
people
the colors.
if people are looking for a third baseman, they'll be on the field tonight for both the Nashville Sounds and the
They
Gwinnett
will play
Strikers.
with the traditional
Third
nine
baseman.
fielders.
There will be a
There will be,
third
including a third base.
pause baseman. Yes.
Are they selling
All right.
tricycles?
There are some colorful balloons being
Absolutely.
carried. Oh,
To
those-
guide you
Wow.
through the choices.
So
To guide
I
you
see
through
the
choices.
green, so it's like a bright green. What color is that? What do you call that?
what color?
The green, the neon color green.
Yeah, just
It's
a
little
bright
kinda
green.
neon,
Bright green,
yeah.
Lemon lime Gatorade.
It's
Yeah.
a little,
Yeah.
yeah. A little bit.
Let's not
Yeah,
let's not
let's not go there.
rehash
let's
that
not pick
Yeah.
at that
I'm
scab.
always willing, but let's not do it.
Speaking of colors, today's word of the day is jaundiced, but not the
Oh wow! Wow!
but not the jaundice, not the medical condition in which people's skin turns yellow.
Wow!
Jaundiced, the adjective, which means showing or influenced by feelings of distrust, distaste, or hostility. To
Oh.
use it in a sentence, some Titans fans have developed a jaundiced view of Cam Ward following his uneven rookie season and the Titans' poor track record of developing young quarterbacks. And that's where we begin today's show. Because, look, we talked a lot about Cam Ward during the offseason program and the accuracy issues that were being reported from Titans OTAs and his uneven rookie season, as I said. Well, we have an offer, especially for you. And Willy Donick, who came up with this idea, he's going to tell you what that offer could be behind door number one.
This is a complete hypothetical fantasy question. And not, when I say fantasy, not fantasy football. I'm talking about just an exercise of, the kind of question you might get with your buddies at a bar, right? Would you rather kind of theme. So the question is, we took 4 young quarterbacks, Cam Ward and 3 others, and we're asking the question today, would you make the swap, Cam Ward straight up, for any of the 3, none of the 3? Your answer could be, I'm rolling with Cam Ward, I'm good. And you might branch out and choose one of the 3. I think it's compelling because all 3 of these quarterbacks are roughly in the same age range, same stage of their career. They're all in their first contract. And all of their rosters are at different stages as well. Some have a really good supporting cast. Some do not. So here are the comparables. Here are the candidates. Would you swap Cam Ward for any of these 3? CJ Stroud, Bo Nix, Jackson Dart. So you've got Stroud is the oldest. He's played the most. Then you have Dart, who's the same age or the same year, going into his second year on a bad team. And then thirdly, you have Bo Nix, who is going into his third year, and he obviously has a very good roster around him. And you can argue if he had not gotten hurt at the end of that playoff game against the Bills, that epic game, he might have played in a Super Bowl in his second year. So we left some other guys out. We didn't want to have this be the whole league. I want to focus it on these 3. These are the things on the table in this imaginary world. You can swap Cam Ward out for one of the 3. And your answer could be, I'll take A, one of the guys, or your answer could be, I'm rolling with Cam.
And we purposely excluded guys who everybody would say, yeah, I'd rather have that guy than Cam Ward, like Drake May. Would you rather ride with Cam Ward or take Drake May, knowing what you know now? I think most people would take Drake May because he's coming off of an MVP caliber season and a Super Bowl appearance. So we wanted to leave a little gray area. And I think the most intriguing one on this list is CJ Stroud. I am going to read directly from Dan Graziano of ESPN.com to set the table. In 2023, Stroud won Offensive Rookie of the Year and finished 8th in MVP voting. He has led the Texans to the second round of the playoffs in each of his 3 seasons as their quarterback. The team has struggled to provide him with consistent protection or an effective running game, and his receivers haven't been able to stay healthy. But those are going to start to sound like excuses if Stroud can't reverse the trend his performance has been on since his rookie season ended. His yardage and touchdown totals have dropped each year since 2023. Part of the reason that happened in 2025 is that he missed 3 games, but that isn't exactly a point in his favor either. Stroud struggled in Houston's first-round playoff win in Pittsburgh in January and was absolutely abysmal in a second-round loss to New England. He's playing with an elite defense and on a team that feels like a solid bet to make the playoffs every year. At some point, he's going to have to get over the hump and either get back to performing the way he did as a rookie or elevate the team beyond the second round of the playoffs. So we've seen CJ Stroud play exceptionally well. But since that high, Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2023, it's been a roller coaster for CJ Stroud. There are questions about if Houston is going to commit to him and give him that big money contract that quarterbacks get. So that's the first one. Would you rather ride with Cam Ward, the potential, or trade him in this fantasy world for CJ Stroud, knowing the trajectory that Stroud's career appears to be on at this moment?
When I made up this question, DMase, it was with Stroud in mind. Because Stroud, it's intriguing because he's a little further up the road. You've watched him a little bit more. And so that, to me, is why it's intriguing to say, would you swap the two? But you guys wanted to add a little more variety to the menu. And so we added Nix and Dart. But to me, Stroud is a really interesting one because he's won games, but he's had a really good defense. He's had some offensive line issues. You could probably make the case that he's going to be a great quarterback. You can still make the case that, he's just going to be okay. So tell me how do you compare the two?
I mean, at first glance, I think everybody's going to take CJ Stroud because he's a proven commodity. He's a guy that has led his team to 3 straight playoff appearances, when before that they could barely sniff the playoffs if they made it at all. So he's taken a franchise, and each of those years, even though he has regressed, each of those years he's been productive enough when he's been healthy to lead his team. And then there's variables in there with both of the guys. I think both dealt with the situation, meaning Cam and CJ dealt with a situation where their play caller was changed on them. CJ Stroud, when he had his best play calling, his offensive coordinator was
Bobby Slowick.
Yeah, Bobby Slowick. So that's when he had
kind of soured on him too. Like
he and the head coach, it seemed,
and they got rid of him.
And they got rid of him. So you saw a guy under Slowick that was developing into one of the brighter young talents in the National Football League. And then the next year, injuries, new OC, offensive line is terrible, and he regresses. They still make the playoffs. You can say the same thing for Cam. And that's why if I choose to say Cam Ward, well, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of Cam hasn't been afforded what CJ Stroud was afforded. CJ Stroud was afforded a really good head coach, a really good offensive coordinator, a hell of a defense. These are things, and receivers, when they were healthy, they were top-notch receivers. So he had a good passing game. Never really had a run game, but he tried to make do with what he had. Cam hasn't had all of that. He hasn't. But I can see in watching him and how he's developed that his future seemed to be a little bit more brighter.
Here's a question I thought of also in trying to answer this question. Mm-hmm. If Cam Ward had swapped with CJ Stroud, and Cam Ward's first year was with the Houston Texans roster, could Cam Ward have had a rookie season comparable
under
in
Slowick
that first year?
I'm not going to say the numbers would have been the same, but I guarantee you it would have been better than what his rookie year was here.
There's no question about that.
I believe that.
But that's how my thoughts kind of roll. Is how much better is it going to look as the roster gets better, and is there a ceiling that Cam Ward can hit that's higher than CJ Stroud's ceiling? I don't know, but we're starting to get a better sense of what CJ Stroud's ceiling is. We still don't know where Cam's is.
I'm tempted in this hypothetical, knowing what we know right now, ride with Cam Ward or take CJ Stroud right now. I'm tempted to take Ward just because of what I've seen most recently from CJ Stroud. Remember, in 2 playoff games, he had 7 turnovers, 5 interceptions, 2 fumbles. He lost 5 fumbles over 2 games. Well, he actually fumbled the ball 5 times. He lost 2 of them. So he had the potential for 10 turnovers in 2 games. But he had 7 turnovers. If memory serves, 4 interceptions in the first half against the Patriots.
It was a nightmare game
in the divisional round.
And that's why I say it's not just black and white. Oh, I'm gonna take CJ Stroud because
Yeah.
in
Well, that's why
moments
we're asking the
where
question.
you thought he should have risen and met the challenge, he did.
I think it means something that the Texans have not locked up CJ Stroud. Like I think it means something. I don't think it's ridiculous that if Stroud has a disappointing season in 2026, the Texans start looking around a little bit.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do that. I believe that they wanted to get Will Anderson done, and they got some time to get CJ Stroud done, and they're gonna get it done. I don't think they're gonna move away from CJ Stroud because even in all of that, he's been good enough to help lead their team. Their problem is they just got to stay healthy, and then maybe you see the CJ Stroud that you saw in your rookie year. But I can't with a quarterback like that started off the way he did. Yeah, it sort of tapered off a little bit. But after 3 or 4 years, you ain't giving up on him. You just, especially with the unknown out there, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not giving up on
It's not
this
like
dude.
you just run down the street and grab somebody better.
Absolutely.
That's the trick.
615-737-1025.
We want your vote.
Yes, we want to hear from you. 615-737-1025. All right. We're giving you this option. We're going to give you 3 options, but we're starting with this one. Take your pick, Titans fans. Ride with Cam Ward based on what you saw from his rookie season, or take CJ Stroud right now, knowing what you've seen from CJ Stroud, especially this past season and in the postseason. 615-737-1025. We also have 2 other quarterbacks to throw into the mix in this and we will do that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Speaking of 1025, we will have live coverage of the NHL draft starting tomorrow at 6 with our very own Willy Donick, Max Hers, and other Predators broadcasters.
Including Chris Mason. He will be anchoring our coverage. He deserves to be on the billboard now. So we need to update that. Add his
Willy
name to the
Donick,
mix.
Max Hers, and Chris Mason.
Chris Mason.
We will take you through the end of the first round as the Predators currently have the 10th overall pick. Our NHL draft coverage on 1025 The Game is presented by Tennessee Brew Works and the UPS store in Green Hills. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you live at First Horizon Park. Our question to start the day. We're playing a little Would You Rather. Take your pick, Titans fans. We're going to start with this quarterback, but we're going to get into the other two. Take your pick, Titans fans. Ride with Cam Ward and the potential of Cam Ward. Or take CJ Stroud right now, knowing what you know about CJ Stroud. 615-737-1025. Our phone and text lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Quickly, since we started on Stroud, let's go around the table. Let's answer our own question. And we'll start with Willy, since you came up with the idea. In this scenario, would you ride with Cam Ward or take CJ Stroud?
The reason I brought this up is because I think it's a tough decision. I would lean towards Stroud right now. Now that I'm oversimplifying this whole thing, because what you can't account for is all the current coaches and all the work they've done to try to match what they're going to do to the specific skill set of Cam Ward. CJ Stroud's skill set is different than Cam Ward. But I feel like for the first 3 years of his career, he's still only 24. He hasn't turned – this will be his age 25 season. CJ Stroud, I still think, is a good bet to grow some, and I think will be a good quarterback in the league. So I'm leaning towards Stroud.
Derek?
If I have to make a choice, I would take Stroud. Tough call.
Yeah, if this was in year 2 of Cam Ward and we saw what his year 2 looked like, I think I would lean more toward Cam Ward. But because I've seen the body of work of CJ Stroud, and it is a short body of work, but I've seen it. And again, yes, he's regressed some, but I think his style of play, he doesn't have to deal with some of those things that I believe Cam Ward has to deal with from a physicality standpoint. He's a little bit more accurate than Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward would become more accurate, but I'm not sure. It could happen. I'm not sure that he's ever going to be one of those guys that are in the top 2 or 3 when it comes to all of that. So I would lean more toward CJ Stroud right now.
Okay, by the way, I do have to read this text from my wife because we came back from break to Zoo by Shakira, which is from the movie Zootopia 2. My wife texted me and said, Arlo just said, how did Zoo get on Daddy's radio? Hi, buddy. I hope you had a wonderful day at school. All right.
We aim thank you to Mr. Mason.
Yes, thank you, Derek. Mr. Derek, that was all Mr. Derek, buddy. All right. This one was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I am tempted to take Cam Ward. I feel like this is a make or break year for CJ Stroud. His highs have been really high. But I've been left with the impression of how poor he played in that playoff game in New England. Again, 7 turnovers.
I think that will
probably
shape a lot of people's
and perhaps recency bias is playing a part in this. Man, that's close. Like
if I weighed that heavily, I might have swung it towards Ward. But I need to see more. I'm not going to define him by these 2 games, although they were nightmares for sure.
I'm going to pick Stroud as well, but it's very, very close. By the way, we have some breaking NHL news, not related to the Predators. The Columbus Blue Jackets have acquired Valeri Nichushkin from the Colorado Avalanche.
Wow.
The Columbus Blue Jackets have acquired Valeri Nichushkin from Colorado in exchange for a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 third-round pick, and a 2028 fifth-round pick, or actually 2 fifth-round picks.
Wow.
So multiple draft picks going from Columbus to Colorado for Valeri Nichushkin. So the Avalanche doing a lot of remodeling. Of course, the Predators have acquired 2 former members of the Avalanche, Ross Colton and Jack Drury. And now Valeri Nichushkin follows him out the door.
A quick analysis. This falls in line with the 2 trades with Nashville. They're trying to clear cap space. Nichushkin is a needle-moving player, a great talent, but he is a he's a risk. He's had a lot of off-field issues that he's had to be in the program for, some that have been very public. He's got 4 years left on a contract that pays him 6.1. So you can see they didn't have to give up much to get him.
3 draft picks, a 2026 second,
not prime draft picks.
a 2026
no
second, a 2027 third, and a 2028 fifth.
Yeah. And Columbus, meanwhile, acquires a guy. They have already a lot of Russian players on there, so they're going to hope that the Russian army faction of their roster will take them to another level.
All right,
interesting stuff.
Let's go back to our quarterback conversation, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our phone line and start with Rick. Rick, thank you for calling and waiting. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you guys. I don't think Stroud is such a great comparison because him being in the league for 3 years and having a great defense and a pretty good offense too. But that's who you want to roll with. I'm still taking Cam, and I'm doing so because of he just seems to win wherever he goes. And I've seen enough athletic plays that are just astounding. And I think his leadership qualities are exactly what this team needs.
Thank you, Rick.
And honestly, that last part he said was the biggest part of my struggle because I love Cam Ward's makeup, and I'm willing to bet on his makeup. And this isn't actually going to happen anyway, so Cam Ward's going to be in Tennessee.
Yeah.
This is just an exercise. But I still stop short. I like CJ Stroud.
Trevor says, I'll take the unknown and potential upside with Ward. And if Stroud goes out and has another subpar season, Kirk Cousins is behind and franchise tag him versus giving him the big deal. Let's go back to our phone line and welcome in T-Mac. T-Mac, thank you for calling and waiting. Please go ahead.
All right, so I'm going. First of all, I do want to say that I would take Cam Ward, but I want to explain the other quarterbacks, and then I want to explain why I would take Cam Ward. CJ Stroud. First of all, he has regressed since the rookie year, and then seeing how he kind of, in the playoffs he was a deer in the headlights, and I don't like that in my quarterback. And then who we say Jackson Dart. I actually like Jackson Dart, but it just seems like he can't stay healthy. Bo Nix, he's like runners up because he has had success and everything like that. But here's why I would take Cam Ward. For one, just like you mentioned about the makeup, Cam Ward, when the game is on the line, I trust that the moment is never too big for Cam Ward. And his talent, it's only 2 other people that play like Cam Ward, and that's Caleb Williamson and Patrick Mahomes. That type of style is so much upside with that and with Cam Ward that, when Cam Ward gets to his peak, his ceiling is going to be higher than any of those quarterbacks that you guys named. And I want to hang up and see what you guys think of that.
Thank you, T-Mac.
He made an interesting point about Cam Ward, about the crunch time, or he doesn't second guess in those moments on Cam Ward. And that's interesting because in watching him this year, at least me, and it came down to those moments, I never thought that he was going to make a bad play. I just never thought that. I always thought he would make a way or make a play. I almost look at him like I looked at Steve McNair. It was like, he's going to make a play, or he's going to do whatever he can to try to make that play. That's how I feel about Cam Ward. And I think possibly that's how a lot of other people feel about Cam, is that in those moments, they tend to believe that he can make that play if given a better roster.
Let's go to Bo Nix next. We've talked CJ Stroud. Let's go to Bo Nix. Remember, Bo Nix suffered a broken ankle that cost him a chance to play in the AFC Championship game. But only 2 quarterbacks ended their seasons with a playoff win, Sam Darnold and Bo Nix, for what it's worth. The Broncos, of course, did not make it to the Super Bowl. Who started at quarterback for the Broncos?
Jarrett
Stidham.
Stidham.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
good.
That
defense held as long as they could.
They still had a chance to win it.
That was a game that happened. But same question. We'll start with you, Willy. Easy for me to say. Ride with Cam Ward or take Bo Nix right now?
It's Bo Nix, I think, is the most unique of the 4 quarterbacks we've got in here, because on the surface, you would be like, well, why wouldn't you take Bo Nix? He's been to he got his team, and he didn't even get to play in the AFC Championship team, but he got his team to the AFC Championship game. And, he's 24-10 as a starter. The Broncos have been a much better team since he's been there. But my answer, I will take Cam Ward over Nix, because I think Bo Nix is the perfect fit for Sean Payton. The brilliance of Sean Payton to identify Nix as a guy that would be the right guy for their team, especially with the defense they have. He knows how to utilize him. I don't know that you could recapture that if you brought him to Tennessee. So I just think the ceiling is higher for Cam Ward, and so I will take Cam Ward.
Oh man, that's a tough one, because I think Bo Nix brings an element to the game that Cam doesn't, and frankly, I don't think he really wants to. He brings that ability to run the football if needed, make plays when plays are broken down and you can't throw the football. Now, that's the good, but then there's the bad too. He can get hurt. We've seen it with Jackson Dart, where they call these design runs and he finds himself in the concussion tent more times than not. So, but you made a good point, Willie. The system that he plays in, because I remember when Peyton got there and they wanted to make everything for him on the move, a lot of things on the move, short passes, get it out of his hands, and then allow the other guys to make the plays. And essentially, that's what he's doing. He's moving around in the pocket, play action, and he's throwing short passes and allowing those other guys to make plays. I don't know how good of a passer Bo Nix is down the field. I don't, because he hasn't consistently proven it. What he has consistently proved is that he's fluid in running your offense when it's this quick game, getting outside the pocket, making things a little bit easier for him. Maybe he learns more of the playbook this year and he's able to expand. But this year, I think Peyton had him on such a restriction that it benefited him.
Yeah.
So when you say he may not be able to play in another, he may not.
Yeah.
He may not be able to go somewhere else and have the same success that he's having with Peyton. So he's going to be a top 5 quarterback eventually.
Because the team's going to be good.
Because the team's going to be good. And Peyton,
but you think he'll get the next contract? No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
Barring injury, right. I think he gets the next. So even with that, I'm taking Bo Nix. It's
okay.
And you took Cam Ward?
I'm taking Cam Ward. I think the ceiling is higher for Ward. I think Nix is going to plateau and be very good. And your point is well taken on the running. He's run in 2 seasons for almost 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. Cam Ward has not come close to that. Of course, there's some, as you said, that's by design. He throws on the run very well. That's his thing. But I think he's a fit for the system. I'm going to gamble and ride with Ward. Break the tie.
Would it be appropriate to refer to Bo Nix as a new age game manager? I think that's a label that he has. And I think when you label a quarterback a quote unquote game manager, it's considered an insult.
Right.
But I don't think it's an insult for Bo Nix. My concern with Bo Nix is that he's got a high floor but a low ceiling. I think Cam Ward has the potential to have a higher ceiling than Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is the safer, quote unquote, quarterback. Like, even at his lowest, you're still going to have a good quarterback. But I don't know how high his ceiling is. How much better can he get? I think Cam Ward has a higher ceiling. He may have a lower floor, but I think he has a higher ceiling.
I think he's eventually.
I would go with Ward over Nix, to be honest.
Bo Nix is eventually maybe between a Baker Mayfield and a Sam Darnold. I would put him in between those 2 guys. He's not quite Darnold because I think Darnold has proven In Minnesota, he was a damn good quarterback. Playoffs, he didn't show it. But then once he got to Seattle, he continued to be that good quarterback, and obviously won his team, helped win his team a Super Bowl. So I would see Bo Nix, like his peak will be that in between those two.
615-737-1025. All right, we've introduced two quarterbacks. So take your pick, Titans fans. 615-737-1025. Ride with Cam Ward, the potential, or take either CJ Stroud or Bo Nix right now based on what you've seen so far in their career. 615-737-1025. We'll take your reaction, plus we'll introduce the final quarterback that we are going to compare to Cam Ward in this coming up next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025, The Game. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Having a little fun with quarterbacks on this late June day. Here's our question for all of you at 615-737-1025. We've already done 2 quarterbacks. We're about to do the third. Take your pick, Titans fans. In this hypothetical, you can ride with Cam Ward, or you can take either CJ Stroud or Bo Nix right now. I think
swap.
I think we all took Stroud, correct?
Yes.
Over Ward. I took Ward over Nix. I think, Willie, you also took Ward over Nix?
I did.
And Derek took Nix over Ward. All right. Let's get some reaction. 615-737-1025. One texter says, anyone writing Ward off at this point is being reactionary. Stroud, Houston is not even sure they're committed to him after those awful playoff games. Dart, way too small of a sample size, and his play style and injury history don't mesh well. Nix, did he ever win the game for the Broncos, or is he a game manager relying on Sean Payton?
I mean,
I think the one thing I think that makes it easy, regardless of Peyton, you take the Peyton part, DMase.
Yes.
I think it's easier to play quarterback when, if you look at the Broncos week in and week out, they don't have to score 35 points to win. They're winning with defense. They won a lot of really close games last year where they won something like 19-17 or 22-21. So the games were close. They weren't in a lot of games where they had to chuck it all over the place, and that helped Bo Nix play to his strengths, I think.
Yeah, I think in this offense, he's going to excel. But the thing is, and we may not ever know, can he thrive outside of the offense that isn't coached by Sean Payton? We'll never know, because I don't think Bo Nix is going to leave Denver, and I don't think Sean Payton is going to lose that much for them to fire him as head coach. So is he a system quarterback? He could be, but I just think every quarterback after a while is a system quarterback.
Right. You always want to find a fit, right?
Absolutely. And if he's just somebody that's going to manage the game, well, I've seen guys manage the game that manage their way to a Super Bowl by doing that. So
Craig says, I think all of those teams could be drafting a quarterback in the next 3 years. So I would just stick with Cam and hope he's the one who develops into a franchise quarterback. So let's introduce the final contestant. Jackson Dart, Ward's contemporary, also drafted last year. And there's an awful lot of hype around Jackson Dart right now. And what we've learned about Jackson Dart in his short NFL career is he is a unique player who presents unique challenges, because he has a playing style that I would describe as being dangerous. I mean, he is willing to take a beating. He is willing to drop a shoulder and try to win by any means necessary, which you like in your quarterback until he gets hurt. I mean, how many times was Jackson Dart evaluated for a concussion in his short NFL
more
career?
Than once.
Right. It was multiple times. I'm sure I can find the exact number, but I know it was multiple times. I think if you look at the numbers, Dart did have a better season, albeit in a smaller sample, than Cam Ward.
And the stats bear that out without question.
But Cam Ward did make it through all 17. Well, he made it to the 17th game. He got hurt in the 17th game, but he did play in every game. He was available in every game. So that's the last one. And I think this is an interesting one. Ride with Cam Ward or swap him with Jackson Dart. Willy Donick.
Jackson Dart had almost 500 rushing yards in 12 starts and 14 total appearances. I don't know. I know he didn't start opening day. That was, they went with Russell Wilson for some of the weeks there early, and then they just ran out of patience with him. They put it on Dart. From the time that Dart took over, I don't know if he missed any games due to injury, despite the evaluation. He might have missed one in there. I'm not sure. We could check that. But I do think it's fair to say the way he plays, can his body hold up over time if he doesn't evolve and get better at just protecting himself? But almost 64% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and the QBR of 57.5. All of those are just better than Cam Ward. That said, I think just with what I know about Cam Ward, I am willing to keep Cam Ward. I would not swap him out for Jackson Dart. So the only person I would swap him out for would be Stroud of the four.
Derek?
This is a no-brainer for me. I'm taking Cam. I think Jackson Dart has a lot of good qualities as a quarterback, but I don't think he's going to, unless he learns how to mentally change the way he plays, I don't think he ever is going to last a full season. I just think the way he plays is, and you get young quarterbacks that come in this way and feel they have to make every play, so they're putting their bodies in harm's way. But I think, like Will Levis, he doesn't know anything else. Like, no matter how many times you tell him, do not run, he's still going to do it. He's going to put himself in a position where you may not have him for weeks during the season. So with that alone, I'm going away from Jackson Dart. I do believe Jackson Dart's going to be a pretty good player in this league. I wonder how he's going to adapt from the offense he was in last year under Dabo to this new offense that is going to be, had with the Giants under Harbaugh. So we're going to see because under Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson ran a lot, with Todd Monken or some of these other coaches that they had. He ran a lot. So are they going to employ the same thing that they did with Lamar Jackson? I think that would be not beneficial for the team, especially after, him either having a concussion or going into the tent to be evaluated for a concussion. That alone takes him off the board for me.
I'm along the same lines as Derek. If you're looking at Ward and Dart, looking at the skill sets, I think you could easily make an argument for Jackson Dart, but I would be way too concerned that Dart is too reckless, and you will have to wonder about his availability every week. So far, I haven't had to worry about that if I'm a Titans fan about Cam Ward. So to me, maybe not as much of a no-brainer as it was for Derek, but I would take Ward as well.
This is how they described Jackson Dart. He's a cross between Johnny Knoxville and Wiley Coyote. I mean,
Wiley Coyote, you have to give him credit.
Uh-huh.
He gets injured a lot, but he comes back. He keeps coming back.
But he keeps getting injured.
He doesn't miss time. He continues.
But he never wins.
He falls off a cliff.
He never wins.
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know what happens between the episodes of the cartoons. He might have to be on the show for 6 months.
Right.
That could happen. So maybe we don't know that. But he doesn't feel like he can bounce back from a tough injury.
Yeah.
Coyote, he's been smashed by rocks and run over.
I mean, I saw Johnny Knoxville doing an interview the other day. I mean, he looks fine. I don't know how he feels. One texter says, Dart is who Will Levis was trying to be. LOL. Chris says, take Dart. He has better mechanics and better footwork. He is way more electric than Ward, which, I mean, the electric part, if you want to make that argument, sure.
He was entertaining.
But to me, it's the how, like, are you going to be starting every week? Do I have to worry that you're going to remember, was it Will Levis, speaking of Will Levis, was it Will Levis in a preseason game a few years ago who took a really hard hit?
Yeah.
He dove into the end zone.
Something like
He
that.
tried to.
He got like helicopter.
Yeah, for a touchdown.
Like, I don't feel like I have to worry about that with Cam Ward. I do have to worry about that with Jackson Dart. So the skill set of Jackson Dart is tantalizing, but the recklessness I've seen so far, I lean towards Ward in this scenario.
Okay.
I think both of those guys have their warts, and I think both of them will eventually, develop. Now, what does that mean? Are you developing into a franchise bona fide number one, or are you developing into just the starter in this league? And yeah, we can win with you, but we're looking to replace you just about every other year.
615-737-1025. Good participation. Thank you, everyone, for indulging us on this late June day. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we transition to the Predators. The NHL draft first round is tomorrow evening. The Predators have the 10th overall pick. They made another trade yesterday. Chris McFarland addressed reporters earlier today ahead of the draft. We'll break down what he said coming up next. 615-737-1025. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. DMase, Vingan and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. We are live at First Horizon Park, where the Nashville Sounds will take on the Gwinnett Stripers. First pitch at 6:35 on 94.9 The Fan. Quickly, one leftover text from our quarterback conversation in the first hour. Mark in Ashland City writes, The part that gets me with Jackson Dart is his mental toughness. As a Gators fan, the game he played versus Florida in the swamp will be burned into my memory. He threw what looked like a game-ending interception and went to the sideline and cried. The interception got overturned to incomplete, so he comes back out and proceeds to throw another interception and walk off and cry again. That person who said the moment never seems too big for Ward is right. I don't think you'd ever see that from Ward, and that's why I would take Ward over Dart in a heartbeat. That from Mark in Ashland City.
That's a good analysis because it did actually happen. And I was sitting there watching that game.
I was too because I picked Florida to beat Ole Miss in silly underdog picks, so I was very happy.
Yeah, that was a big
I'm like,
game.
wow.
Yes.
Like he got a second chance and came back in the very next play threw another interception. I was like, how can you do this?
That was not his best day.
It was not his best day at all.
So something to keep in mind. By the way, we forgot to mention this in the first hour, so I think we should. Congratulations to Tyler Nickel, drafted into the NBA last night. Technically, I believe, drafted by the Suns, but traded to the Knicks.
Here we go again.
Yes, traded to the Knicks. So good for Tyler Nickel. This is my bar for Tyler Nickel in the NBA. If the New York Knicks repeat as champions, will Tyler Nickel be confused for a fan by NYPD the same way Tyler Kolek was last week? That's the bar.
That's the bar.
I want Tyler Nickel to be recognized by police officers in New York City if the Knicks win the championship again.
I think that's a great goal to set. and Knicks fans would go for it.
Besides
It means
making a
they would
team.
win another. Yeah. But I do think Nickel probably will be in a mix of guys. You know, this is the reality of the last few spots. It's not unlike being on a practice squad for the NFL. You know, for the last 50 to 75 spots in the league, maybe even as many as 100, there's double the amount of players that are capable and good enough to play. So are you the right fit for that team? And this is quite a unique team being the NBA champion, but we know Nickel can really shoot the ball. He's got a great quick release, which I think has him predisposed. You know he can do that in the NBA where Brunson breaks down the defense, three guys come to him. You get it to Tyler Nickel, he's going to hit the threes.
They need some wing scoring off their bench, meaning the Knicks, and he fits perfectly into potentially what they want to do and can do with him. He was a 40% three-point shooter throughout college, or at least the last 2 years at Vanderbilt. So he's one of those guys that don't need much space. Now he's going to have to find his rhythm quick because I remember times, especially during the latter part of the season where he just wasn't hitting. It just seemed like he was tired.
He went through a rough patch.
He went through
but that was after being
so hot.
Yes.
It's already corrected itself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what
Yes.
I think. In order for him to continue to be an elite shooter, he's going to have to make sure he can hold up because the season is much longer.
Look,
but I think he's going to have a spot with the Knicks, man.
Yeah,
And
NBA teams.
can he guard and
Yeah.
rebound? That's the thing. You got to be able to do that.
NBA teams always need shooters with size,
Yes.
and that's what Tyler Nickel provides. So congratulations to Tyler Nickel. Some of the other SEC players drafted last night, Jacoby Gillespie of Tennessee, drafted by the Spurs. Otega Owe of Kentucky, drafted by the Miami Heat and then traded to Oklahoma City. Felix Okpara, also of Tennessee, drafted by the Magic and traded to the Wizards. So all over the place. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Like,
how many players were drafted by the team that
Their
They wore the
original
hat for it,
team,
yeah.
and they stayed
how
there.
many? Is like
One.
half of them?
Last night,
One.
Yeah. One? For
One.
real?
Yeah, for
Oh,
real.
wow.
Seriously.
He
One.
talking about in the second round.
In the
Yeah.
second round, there
In the
was
second
one
round.
pick that was originally to
Oh,
its team.
wow.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
also, I do want to mention that one texter said that none of his friends knew one of the words of the day last week. He says, I know it starts with an F, but I can't remember the full word. I think you mean flummoxed. I believe that was the word. See? You're learning something, and your friends are learning by extension. Okay. Come on, Connor. All right.
I'm a child behind a board. You knew what you signed up for.
Exactly.
Somebody get the handcuffs out.
Absolutely.
Grow up. All right. Back
Let
on
this kid run the board.
back on track. Back on track.
Uh,
The Nashville Predators have the 10th overall pick in the NHL draft. First round is tomorrow. A reminder of our coverage, which starts at 6 p.m. with Willy Donick and Max Hurst and Chris Mason. Many others as well. I believe a cavalcade of broadcasters. I think that was one of our
Yes,
words
it
of the
was.
day.
Yeah,
A
Pete Weber will be there.
Yes.
We got Jay Moore, JP Duma. We'll have a lot of special guest stars.
That is absolutely a cavalcade of Predators broadcasters. So the Predators have the 10th overall pick, and earlier today, Chris McFarland, new GM and president of hockey operations, addressed reporters about the upcoming draft, but mostly about the recent trades of Ross Colton and Jack Drury, and just the overall activity around the NHL. Willie, as you walked in to First Horizon Park today, you were listening to Chris McFarland's news conference. What stood out to you?
I think Chris McFarland is, I think, very efficient and informative at these press conferences. I think I've heard him in a couple of press conferences in another interview or two setting. I think he's been pretty consistent with what he wants to do. He really believes that Colton and Drury will improve the team, but not in a headliner type of way. And I think he keeps being realistic on, hey, this on paper is not a championship team right now, but we want to take those little steps. What's going to help? And he went into a lot of detail on what the two players do and where they are. He said, I know Colorado's situation well, and you saw with Colorado's trade of Val Nichushkin, a guy that is a very big-time force when he's healthy and right. They moved on. They were trying to create cap space, and the Predators took advantage of that with two players that McFarland believes will play a bigger role, and they're more established. They're also in the 20-something range, right? They're not in the 30-something range. And he did make a comment today that said, we're likely going to shy away from committing big resources to players 30 and over. And he said, don't make me sit here and tell you that that's a hard, fast rule for everybody, but the general rule appears to be they want to try to get younger systematically to get where they want to go.
The trade you're referencing, by the way, in case you missed it, it happened during the first hour. The Colorado Avalanche continue to wheel and deal. And not just with the Predators. They traded Valerie Nichushkin to Columbus Blue Jackets for three draft picks, not first round picks. No. 3 draft picks, a second round pick, a third round pick, and a fifth round pick. So 3 draft picks, no first round picks within the 3 draft picks. Nichushkin to Columbus. Other notable quotes from Chris McFarland I'm reading here from Alex Daugherty of the Tennessean on McFarland's strategy to build back the Predators into a winning franchise. Quote, we can't snap our fingers and by tomorrow night or by July 2nd say, poof, we're there. This is going to take time. We can get a little bit better in different ways over time. I can't crystal ball it and say we are going to be a playoff team next year. The goal is to methodically build it and build it in the right way.
And I'll give you an example of what where I think it merges together with the 2 trades he's made. I think it's fair to say, you tell me, Adam, if you disagree, Ross Colton, who's 29, and Jack Drury, who just turned 26 recently, they are much more battle-tested and they've had much more production to this point in their careers than LaRue and Svechkov.
For sure.
And LaRue and Svechkov, this is something that we overlooked yesterday that I think is important. They're now at the stage of their careers that if you want to send them to the minors because they're slumping, you can't do it without sending them through waivers. So that's what happens with a lot of these first-round picks that you have documented have not blossomed and signed that next contract for big things with the Predators. They get to, their clock runs out. You can't just say, well, let's send them to Milwaukee and let them develop in there, and then we'll bring them back up and see if they're better. They've done that process with LaRue and Svechkov, for better or worse. they kind of had to make a call. Are they going to be on the roster all year long? Or else we risk losing them for nothing, a la the worst-case scenario, Elliotte Friedman, right? They lost a good player and got nothing.
And Dante Fabro. He was also
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's another good example. And Fabro, they miss, but not as much as they missed Tolvanen. Tolvanen they could really use. So you use those two prospects to get two players that are established. The key would be, are you going to keep these guys? Colton could be a trade piece at the trade deadline if the season goes south. Drury is a restricted free agent. They have to sign to a contract. And I've been reading a lot. He called him an elite defensive center. What is that worth today? Adam, am I crazy in saying, in reading the tea leaves and looking what Michael McCarron got, this would be a good question for Elliotte at 5, that Chris Drury might make about the same money as Ryan O'Reilly this year, as nutty as it sounds.
Yeah,
He'll be in the ballpark.
That's where the market is going, and I wonder how Predators fans would react.
They're going to freak out. You can't help but freak out.
No,
but that's what the market is now.
Right. It is crazy to think that a fourth-line center is worth $4.5 million per year in today's NHL, but that's exactly what the going rate is with the rising cap and all of that. But another quote from McFarland, and again, take it with a grain of salt. A lot can change. You've seen how many top 10 draft picks have been moving around over the past couple of days. He said, quote, "I'd personally be surprised if there's any more action like that in the top 10. But certainly I'll talk to all my colleagues around the league and try to get a feel. Right now, the expectation, operative word, for me would be to make the pick at 10. So if you were wondering if the Predators would use the 10th overall pick and try to pull off one of these trades you've seen, like the Bowen Byram trade, which involved the number 4 overall pick, the Brady Tkachuk trade, which involved the number 9 overall pick, and then the William Eklund trade, which involved the number 9 pick again. It looks like, for now, the Predators are planning to stick and pick at 10.
Everything that I've read about the draft from different sources, we had a really good interview. Rachel Krychak, she gave her perspective. The two guys, Corey Pronman and Scott Wheeler, I think have very in-depth coverage at The Athletic. It looks by consensus that at number 10, you may not get the franchise player, but there is a solid group of tier 2 guys that one guy at least, and probably a couple of guys on their list, will be available at 10 that I think they have a chance to be needle movers if you believe what these guys read, especially defense, right? So, and the Predators, I think, would you agree, Adam, are a little thin of defense, of first-rate defense prospects.
I think that's fair.
You've got Tanner Molendijk. I think Ryan Ufko is kind of a late bloomer that flashed a lot last year. We'll see where he goes this year. And then beyond that, I'm trying to think of other guys in the pipeline. You know, there's Gibson that they swapped a couple years ago.
Cameron Reed.
That's the other guy I think they're really high on.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first-round picks last year. And he's going to go to, sorry, DMase, Michigan. Michigan is signing a lot of very decorated high draft choices.
At least the Predators got one going.
Right,
Michigan State
is that
already.
Michigan State?
Exactly.
Yes.
And Ivan Kovic, the best goalie prospect of the Predators, also plays for Michigan. So Michigan State, we need to focus in when they play each other this year. That'll be fun to watch. But I think the Predators probably could use a needle mover at any position. But I think what's going to be there, maybe along with the center that falls or a power forward who Rachel, I think, was talking about. There's Matt Cullen's son, who's really intriguing as a winger. But there's going to be some good choices at 10. I think they probably feel like if they didn't do anything, this is a good year to have the 10th pick as opposed to some other years.
But he's not saying, meaning McFarland, he's not saying that he wouldn't package something to get a guy that can come in and play right away that's not that's not 30, right? He's not saying that. He would make a move, but it has to be more than likely a guy under 30.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
I think
sure.
it would be what we talked about with Mishkov or
McTavish.
Mason McTavish. There's a couple other guys. Simone Nemitz fits this category, and he just got moved. So there's some, but you got to be prepared. If Bowen Byram would be in the category too. Be prepared to pay these guys the next contract, big money. If the market's changing, Alex Tuck just got paid $10.5 million. He's already 30, and he signed an 8-year deal. That's the market. $10.5 million is more than Roman Josi makes. It's more than Philip Forsberg makes. It's more than Steven Stamkos makes. So are you ready to make him your highest paid player? There's going to be some weird contracts that are signed because of the change in the market, and it has to do with the ceiling of the salary cap going up so fast.
615-737-1025. We'll take your thoughts on the NHL draft. First round is tomorrow. Coming up next, as Willie mentioned, we had Rachel Krychak of ESPN.com on the program earlier this week. And she has done a lot of research on the success rate of NHL players based on their draft slot. And she was kind enough to share with me her findings on the 10th overall pick. So we will discuss that coming up next. 615-737-1025. By the way, Randy on our text line says we should have some kind of contest with the words of the day. Should we have a listener spelling bee?
That'd be
My
cool.
thought is maybe that.
That'd be cool.
But I think if a caller can work it or a texter can work it into a question that falls in line with the discussion, I think that would be a big thumbs up.
Yes.
I don't know if we have prizes enough for all the people, but if it,
we'll work on it.
Let's see if we can find.
We'll pull some strings.
Yeah,
we'll pull some strings.
But so today's word you would have to work into, like if you have a question about the 10th pick or Cam Ward or
today's
something.
word of the day, by the way, is jaundiced. And no,
Jaundiced.
not the medical condition. Jaundiced is an adjective, which means showing or influenced by feelings of distrust, distaste, or hostility.
Okay.
So if you can use jaundiced correctly, or if you have questions about the Predators, 615.
But no, work jaundiced into your question, and you're going to move up the ranks.
Yes. 615-737-1025. We'll continue the NHL draft conversation coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Derek, is the theme songs from movies?
No, it's a dance theme.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
dance, family dance theme.
Well, this song's from Barbie. You played a song from Zootopia 2 earlier, so I thought that might have been the theme.
It's a family dance theme. Family
Okay.
songs.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
This song, when that movie was out, I think was played in about 99% of arenas and ballparks around the country.
All right. Here's a quick sidebar because I'm thinking about it as you mentioned that, and as we're sitting at First Horizon Park ahead of the Sounds game. If you had the power to remove any song from every playlist in every arena or stadium for the rest of time, which song would you choose?
Ooh.
You would never
Okay.
hear it again at any sporting event.
Okay.
Man, that's hard.
A few years ago, I thought, see, the way I look at it is this, Adam. I think sometimes you got to take a break. There are great songs that get overplayed, especially at ballparks and
Yes.
arenas. So I don't know if I would be as harsh as you, like put it away forever and never hear it again, but like put it on the shelf for a while, let it age like some fine wine, and then bring it back in 5 or 10 years.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of songs.
Does one come to mind?
Well, I think YMCA got to that point a few years ago, a long time ago.
We heard that right before the
Yes.
show.
It came, that's a 1970s song. It came back.
Yes.
And everybody was playing it, and then I think we had to take another break. But the one now, what it was, I think too many teams play the Seven Nation Army
Yes.
from Jack White.
Yes,
and I
the White
love that.
Stripes.
It's an awesome song.
Yes.
I love Jack White. He's a Nashville guy to a large degree. He's also a Detroit guy. But that song gets overplayed. Too many people use it. Like Ohio State,
Yes.
teams like that, keep it. That's your thing. But come up with a new thing to get the crowd going. Okay.
That is played out.
It's
That's
just
played
too many-
out. It's
too many
played
people
out.
do
It's
that.
played out.
I've got two,
It's played out.
and I'll have to decide between the two.
Ohio State has the right to keep it. Everybody else chill for a little while, and that's
Put it
all.
on pause.
Put it on
Okay.
pause.
Here are my two, and I'll have to choose between one. Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon. And
Is that really a problem? That song is serious.
That's,
I think a few years ago it did get it was getting out there a lot.
and hand
Shut up and dance with me.
Yes,
right?
and Hand Clap by Fits in the Tantrums.
Oh,
I can
yes.
make your hands clap.
Yeah.
No more.
okay.
Ever again.
Now you just brought up one that I at the ballparks especially between pitches. Let's give this one a rest, okay? Freeze! Everybody clap their hands.
The cha-cha slide?
The cha-cha slide.
Yes.
I mean, your hands just start clapping. It's just like I can make your
No
hands.
matter
clap.
what.
We need to chill. Let's just take a break from
Put a
those.
pause on it.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Like your body is wired. Like,
Yeah.
but
yes.
Okay,
they
well,
play it too much. We need to come up with some new stuff.
okay,
new
so,
stuff.
so Matt might piss off some Predators fans here.
Oh, boy.
He says, if I never hear Achy Breaky Heart again, it would be way too soon. Also,
Achy
the
Breaky Heart.
I Like It, I Love It song. So, Matt, you can't go to Predators games anymore because he's saying Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah,
In addition
they play
to,
that at the Preds games.
no, I said he also wants to get rid of Tim McGraw.
Okay, well, the Tim McGraw, that's
Yes.
the goal song.
yes.
That's so they're committed to that. I guess they could change it.
One texter says, Mr. Brightside. That one is climbing up the charts quickly by the Killers, Mr. Brightside.
That is getting into the Seven Nation Army
Yes.
range where there's a lot of teams copying other teams. Like I still don't know exactly who the first one or two. Like if you created it, you can keep it.
Is it Michigan? Is it associated with Michigan?
Michigan and
Brightside?
Missouri. Those are the two.
Okay.
But now, boy, every other game you're watching, everybody's singing that out loud. It's effective. But
Now,
it's copycat.
This
We need to chill.
texter clearly not a Bostonian. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that one. I was
that-
thinking of that one. You got to get rid of that one.
I think
That one needs to take a
I think
time
that's a
out.
Boston only thing.
That
Keep
needs
it
to
in,
take a
keep it
time
in
out.
Boston. That's their thing. Everybody else, no. It's played out. It's played
Okay.
out. It's exhausted. It's exhausted. It's saturated.
Well, we'll continue to take your thoughts on that, but let's get back into.
Can we work jaundiced into that? That wasn't.
What about Jump by House of Pain?
Let's see. Can we work John?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
Wisconsin.
Yes.
That's a big one, right?
So Wisconsin, you keep
I
it,
think they can keep it.
but
It's
everybody
their
else
thing.
got to put it on
I
pause.
think put it on pause.
Chad says, "We Will Rock You" by Queen can go away forever. Love Queen, but I'm
That
good on
used
that
to be
for the rest of
Playboy.
my life.
That's like the original Jock Jam. Isn't
Yes,
it? Like
the original.
the OG Jock Jam.
Or Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. But then Gary
Gary's off the field problem.
I think Gary got canceled.
With good reason.
pretty sure Gary got canceled.
He was canceled before it was like cool to cancel people.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Predators have the 10th overall pick in the draft. And on Monday, I think it was Monday, on Monday we had Rachel Krychak of ESPN.com, ESPN's chief NHL draft analyst. And Rachel has done a ton of research on the NHL draft. I think she might have written like a thesis on, or a PhD sort of thing.
Is this like my Nobel Prize with the draft, the NFL draft? This is great. I love this. Tell me more.
So she's done a lot of research, and she was kind enough. She could not share the entire study with me. But earlier today, I asked her, could you share your findings on the 10th overall pick and the success rate of players selected with the 10th overall pick? And here's what she wrote back, and it's really interesting. She said, quote, 75% of players in the last 20 years drafted at number 10 play 200 or more NHL games. 75%. Key hits, Evan Bouchard, Mikko Rantanen, someone traded earlier today, Valerie Nichushkin, and Jonas Brodin. There are commonalities, she says. Guys with quality scoring profiles who create offense in their draft year are better bets to play. Every guy who missed was a guy considered to be, quote-unquote, defensive and didn't create even at the junior level. So basically, if you take a guy because he's big but doesn't have a good scoring profile, you're more likely to miss. The Predators should be looking at Cullen, Klepov, and Belchets.
Klepov is a Russian, and we know things are, without getting into the weeds, complicated over in Russia right now. Internationally with the competition, and can you go watch him play? But she has a very high ceiling for Klepov. That's one of the few players that she is very different than her colleagues, or you call them colleagues?
Her contemporaries.
Her contemporaries at the Athletic. They have Klepov way lower in the first round. She likes Klepov. But I see it's an interesting study. It's interesting research. And this will be something we try to find out about Chris McFarland and the way he goes about it. He's still blending. Like he talked about in the press conference today how he's getting to know Scott Nickel and Jeff Kelty. So he's inherited Scott Nickel, who's been in other places besides Nashville, but he knows the Nashville prospects backward and forward. And Jeff Kelty would be the draft guy who's done all the groundwork. And so he's going to get a chance here. And then he's got his two new guys that he's brought in that he was glowing about today, Rob Blake and Jamie Langenbrunner, who are both great players in the league that have different circles, right? They've got the LA circle. They've got the Boston circle. So different perspectives. So we're going to see what their draft philosophy is. I wonder how much it'll be just Jeff Kelty making the call, or will he be more influenced by the new presence in the front office?
So Rachel Krychak, in her final mock draft for ESPN.com, has the Predators taking Ethan Belchets at the number 10 pick. She writes, Belchets was originally mocked to the Senators at number 9, but it is difficult to envision a scenario where the Sharks don't take a defender. In Belchets, the Predators get a big playmaking forward with high-end skill. Listen up, DMase. This fall, he'll head to Michigan State.
I read that.
Which did a wonderful job developing Porter Martone. And I know there are Predators fans out there who bemoan the Predators drafting Brady Martin instead of Porter Martone. Well, maybe here's your chance at redemption. As a Spartan, Belchets would team up with fellow Preds prospect Riker Lee. He'll get the chance to improve his consistency while playing an important role for MSU, with the hope he develops into a top 6 power forward.
And it's interesting, while Rachel and the Athletic guys differ on some players, they both have Belchets going to the Predators at 10. So he is a power forward. And I mentioned the depth at the top of the draft were defensemen. So I think it very well, if I had to guess like probability, when that pick hits at 10, there'll probably be one or two very good defensemen, and then a couple of power forwards that Rachel was really keen on sitting there at 10. And then there's Cullen, who is not a power forward, but he fits the profile of what her study shows, right?
Yes.
Skilled, high-end offense
She writes
at his level.
Not a big guy.
Yeah.
She writes, Cullen's package of high-end puck skill, play driving ability, and offensive instincts will be enticing. She has him going to the Devils. Enticing to the Devils to add some skill on the wings. Cullen's ceiling is among the best available at this juncture of the first round. And if he hits, he will be a play driving winger with endless creativity.
And Cullen, his dad,
Matt
played for a lot of teams, but
Yes.
he did play for the Predators at one point.
Great
so
guy,
there's a
by the way.
connection there.
Great guy.
Matt Cullen is awesome.
He's an awesome dude. So it will be interesting to see what the Predators decide to do. Let's give this texter a round of applause. Given past performance of the Predators in the draft, I have a jaundiced view of how they will make the selection this time around.
Okay.
From Dave.
Well done.
Well done, Dave. I actually do want to give a shout out to Andrew, who I missed this earlier, used jaundice during our quarterback conversation. He said, I have a jaundiced view of Jackson Dart. He doesn't have social awareness outside of football. Stroud has gotten worse. He has not led his team to playoff victories. His defense has. I was tempted to stay with Ward.
We're making progress with this.
Yes, we are. So, again, the Predators have the 10th overall pick. Chris McFarland said the expectation, that's his word, is that he is going to stick in pick at 10. But we've seen a lot of top 10 draft picks move around over the past couple of days, including a top 5 pick being traded this close to the draft for the first time in 18 years.
Wow.
when the Blackhawks acquired Bo Byram for the 4th overall pick, among other picks. So we'll see what the Predators do tomorrow. A reminder, we will be live at BetMGM Sports Lounge inside Bridgestone Arena tomorrow for our show. And then the Predators draft show starring Willy Donick, Max Hers, Chris Mason, Pete Weber, JP Dumont, Jay Moore. That show will be also happening at BetMGM as part of the Predators draft party. 615-737-1025. Elliotte Friedman will join us at the top of the hour. But before we get to Elliotte Friedman, remember earlier in the week, I think it was earlier this week, when we were talking about Alexei Lalas and announcers who apparently have no fans. I have 2 submissions, including someone who has yet to even call a game. We'll discuss that coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
All right, let's tell you about Twice Daily. Yeah, keep those applause coming. We like to hear that. But Twice Daily is a brand new sponsor on our show, and we just want to make sure we get the word out. You've probably driven by Twice Dailies here and there every day, probably if you drive around enough, and there's some of those days where it just catches up on you. All of a sudden, you look up at your clock, it's 4:38, you got to have dinner plans by 6, and you're in a pinch, and that's where Twice Daily can help you. We've used the example they've thrown out there. They want you to know that they have great pizza there, and they have great deals, especially through their rewards program. They can help you out with a lot of things, but if you want pizza for your family tonight, you need something quick, they've got that. And you can get slices, 2 for $6, $2 off a whole pizza. You can order it ahead in store or get it delivered to your house. Pizza's easy, even when life isn't. That's what it's all about. Twice Daily, oven fresh pizza. Order a whole pizza in the store online or stop in for a few slices to go. It's Twice Daily. Ask about their daily rewards program. Twice Daily, fresh all day.
DMase, Vingen and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingen here with you. Remember when Justin Bieber was this clean cut? It's been a long time.
Yeah, he's trying to get back there. He's trying.
I gotta say, I've come around on. He's legit. He's legit.
Oh, he's a good songwriter
He's
and
good.
performer. Yeah.
No, Bieber's solid.
He's good.
But just think back to those days when he was like 12.
Right, and he had the really high voice.
And now look at him now, covered in tats and, it's
Living his life.
living his life.
I do think the turning point for me, because he was just like this boyish guy, whatever. The kids liked him and stuff, but he went to the next level for me when he did the carpool karaoke with James Corden.
Uh-huh.
You ever seen that series of things?
Yes.
Really well done.
Mhm.
But like he completely made fun of himself. He went with it 100%. I was like, okay,
I like
I'd
this
go
kid.
with that. I'm down with beeps.
All right. Well, we'll take your thoughts on Justin Bieber. 615-737-1025. No,
Or
that
not.
wasn't the
No.
point of this. That wasn't the point of this segment. So earlier this week, we were talking about Alexei Lalas and how apparently he is incredibly loathed. But it led to a conversation that I heard on the Press Box podcast with Brian Curtis and Joel Anderson about announcers who do not have fans.
Mhm.
And this is not a situation where you're like, man, like Stephen A. Smith. Like, oh, I hate Stephen A. Smith. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, one, has a lot of fans.
Yes.
And two, he's the kind of guy that you want to hear what he has to say, even if you know you're going to be mad hearing it. I'm talking about people who, like, I'll give you a perfect example. And this is someone who hasn't even called a game yet. I would like to add to the list of announcers who have no fans. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly will call college football games for CBS this season. It was first reported by Front Office Sports. CBS Sports has one Big Ten football game a week, as well as Mountain West rights. This season, Charles Davis is replacing Gary Danielson alongside Brad Nessler on Big Ten games at the network.
Good for Charles.
Kelly is expected to be part of a three-man booth on Mountain West games.
Mountain
on
West.
The on the
At
broadcast
least they're not
network.
giving him the
Yeah.
big game every week.
He's
to
putting him
start
out
with.
west.
Yeah,
Let him ease
train.
into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like, find someone who loves you as much as television networks love paying coaches who just got fired, especially coaches who were not good with the media as coaches. I don't
Oh my
remember
gosh.
Brian Kelly being the warmest and fuzziest when he was
Definitely
interviewed. I mean, John Tortorella is the prime example.
Yes.
I mean, Tortorella is on the ESPN, gets called off the bench to go coach the Vegas Golden Knights, and cost them a second-round pick, in part because he didn't want to do an interview after they won a playoff series. So, like, to me, it's like, I get it. Coaches, they get fired. They go to the booth. But it's like coaches who are not media friendly who then go to the booth. Like, do I really want to hear Brian Kelly? Like, I don't know how many Mountain West football games I'm planning on watching this coming season, but like, I can already tell Brian Kelly is going to have zero fans as a color commentator.
I think his whole shtick when he went to LSU just turned a lot of people off. That whole all of a sudden now I got a southern
Oh, my
draw
gosh,
and
yeah.
I'm from
family.
no
My
exactly.
family.
It's like after he did that, I think
Trying to
everybody
dance
just
to the
like
videos.
yes.
and so-
they're like, dude, no, we're done with you.
No,
Like I think he goes in not as the beloved ex-coach of your school. Like
right.
he's not super popular with the places that he
He-
coached, let
exactly.
alone the places that he's coaching against. So he doesn't have a great base.
Keep him away from the camera crew.
One texter says, put Brian Kelly on the booger moving boom rig from Monday Night Football. Taste of his own medicine. Make it tall too. One texter says, because when watching Nevada versus North Dakota State, I want to listen to Brian Kelly. Said no one ever.
And that's why they put him out there.
North Dakota State.
And that is why they put him out there.
Well, like Russell Wilson is going to be on, is he CBS? I can't remember. CBS or
CBS.
Fox?
CBS.
Okay.
CBS.
Like people are already saying he's going to have no fans as an NFL analyst because Russell Wilson is a specific kind of corny, and I'm not sure it's going to translate to television. But yeah, when I saw Brian Kelly, when I saw Brian Kelly is going to call college football games, like, who asked for this? I'm sorry to all of you Mountain West fans out there who are listening. One texter says, family. They spelled it out. Family. Is there an accent he can take on out there?
I don't know.
Question.
I don't know.
California? I don't know.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know which schools are in the Mountain West. So
well, that's an ever-changing
They rearranged
group.
them, yeah.
I've got to look this up.
Some
I don't
coming
even,
in, some's going out.
Yeah, I don't even know what schools.
Boise State still in there?
I'm going
Pac-12.
to
Pac-12. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
let's see. UNLV,
Uh-huh.
New Mexico, San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Hawaii, Utah State, Air Force, Wyoming, Nevada, San Jose State, and Colorado
Oh,
State.
he's going to have fun. He's
Some of
going to
those
have a good
get to the
time.
Pac-12 though.
Oh, is Hawaii still in the Mountain West?
They are.
Okay, so he's going to call a Hawaii
How
game and
many
go,
is-
aloha.
How many are in the Pac-12?
8.
More than
They're up to 8?
Yeah.
I remember at one point it was just
two.
really 2 teams.
Yeah, it was down to 2. We were
9
talking
in
about
basketball. They have Gonzaga in basketball.
Burton Hanks, who used to be
Yes.
a great player. He was the commissioner of the Big 12 or the Pac-12. He was like, we have 2 teams. That's got to be a great gig.
a very strange
The
media
Pac-12
day.
minus 10.
Very strange media days back then, just 2 teams. So Brian Kelly on the list of announcers who have no fans. He hasn't even called a game yet, and I know he's going to be on the list.
And he
So
may
you
not
think-
he may not gain many fans
You really,
anytime soon.
I think the opposite about Russell Wilson. I
Okay.
think that he's going to gain fans.
Okay, you think he'll win people over?
Yeah, I think he's going to win people over. And I think that's one of the reasons why he took the job, is to win the fan base over, so to make his Hall of Fame sort of argument a lot
Ooh,
better.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Interesting.
angle.
So he's
Yeah.
going to try to win them
Okay,
over.
please the people.
Okay,
Exactly.
and here's the other one, and I will admit I'm a bit biased because he went after my guy, Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson.
Somebody need to punch him in the gut, man.
You don't like
punch
him,
him in the gut. No, but what he did.
Did you
man.
hear what he did?
Yeah, you didn't hear what
Okay,
he did.
reading
my
from
goodness.
reading
This is not
from
him, the announcer on the call.
I don't really love him as an announcer
Yeah.
either. I feel like he comes off a bit smug,
Yes.
but
Absolutely.
here's what he did as part of ESPN's NBA draft coverage, reading from Front Office Sports. After the telecast showed a clip of Jay Williams when he was drafted by the Chicago Bulls in 2002, host Kevin Nagandi asked, why such a big ovation for Williams when he was selected second overall? Jefferson joked that fans were cheering because they, quote, didn't see the future coming. Remember, Jay Williams' NBA career got cut short because
right.
he got in a motorcycle
Yeah,
accident.
yeah.
And Jay Williams even said it was, quote unquote, extremely uncomfortable. Like after the fact, he said to Front Office Sports that comment was extremely
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
probably shouldn't have gone there.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And you can tell it
Screw
was
you, Richard
with
Jefferson.
everybody. You could tell with everybody. It was just like,
Oh.
that
going
maybe
there?
you're touching on that?
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
okay, one texter says your list isn't updated for 2026. Okay, here's the Mountain West.
Okay.
Air Force, Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota State, Northern Illinois for some reason.
What?
San Jose
Northern
State,
Illinois.
UNLV, UTEP, and Wyoming. Thank you,
Northern
texter.
Illinois?
I don't think there's any mountains near Northern Illinois. I've done a game there. There were no mountains. It's
Maybe some hills,
Wow.
but no mountains. But
How
Richard
did Northern
Jefferson,
Illinois get in there? Phew.
Richard Jefferson, he's on the list. And look, he's probably bitter because 25 years ago, Jay Williams and Duke beat Richard Jefferson and Arizona in the 2001 national championship game. But that was uncalled for. It was so awkward.
Yeah,
And
it made
Richard-
everybody awkward.
There was the whole thing, remember last year with Richard Jefferson and Doris Burke and like how they
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
apparently work together. And I feel like Richard Jefferson, they work a 3-man booth, right? It's
Right, yeah.
is it Mike Breen,
Tim Legler.
Tim Legler, and Richard Jefferson. And Richard Jefferson acts like the third person is never there. He's like there is a third guy here, like Tim Legler can get a word in, So those are 2 of my submissions for announcers who have no fans. Richard Jefferson and Brian Kelly proactively. Like,
Yeah. I think they're competing.
I'm putting him on the list. So yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't. That was really uncalled
It-
for.
it-
But hey,
I saw the clip of it and I got mad. We were talking about the Predators. We will continue to talk about the Predators at the top of the hour with Elliotte Friedman from Sportsnet. But I missed this question during our Predators conversation. One texter says, do you guys see Matt Wood as a future NHL superstar or just a solid above average player. And I think Matthew Wood had a strong season this past season for the Predators. He had, let me make sure I've got it right, 17 goals and 30 points in 71 games. And I do think Matthew Wood, Willie, can be a solid player. I would caution people about Matthew Wood scoring at that rate. He shot 16.5% this past season. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I have this right before I say it out loud. He shot 16.5% last season. That's higher. That's a higher shooting percentage than Philip Forsberg has in his NHL career. I don't think Matthew Wood is going to score at a clip higher than Philip Forsberg. I think he can be a solid, to the texter's point, a solid above average player. I wouldn't call him a superstar.
Well, there's a lot of levels, I think, even between those two things you mentioned, solid player and superstar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how liberal you'll be with superstar. Like, I don't think Philip Forsberg, for example, is a superstar. I think he's a star. He is a perennial star. Superstar, I would reserve for the absolute super freaks like McKinnon, McDavid, McCarr. You know, that's a very, very rare breed. And then there's another pack of guys that are stars. Forsberg is that. I think Matt Wood can be – I don't think he'll be a superstar. Mm-hmm. I think he will be somewhere between very good with a chance to be a star.
So where does that lineup – where does that land him in regards to lineups?
I hope that I think there is reason to hope that he could be a second-line center who can run a power play. I think that's his strength. He's not a pure goal scorer. He's a playmaker. He's a very good passer. So if he doesn't shoot as high a percentage, even though I do think he's got a very good knack for shooting, I think I hope, will have the type of skill set that he can shoot a good percentage, even if it's not quite that high. But if he's not scoring goals, I think he can still create goals with his vision and hockey IQ. So I'm hoping he can be that 25 to 30 goal scorer and a guy that can get 60 to 70 points, maybe be your top power play kind of guy. I think that's what you're hoping for.
A couple of texts. Jeff says, it sounds like Dick Jefferson's mom named him appropriately. You said it, not me. One texter says, if you think Northern Illinois in the Mountain West is weird, Sacramento State is in the MAC starting this year.
Wow.
Sacramento State.
Sacramento State. Don't you think they should have put Sacramento State in the Mountain West and Northern Illinois in the MAC? That would have been easier, wouldn't it?
Northern Illinois was in the MAC for a long time.
Sacramento State will be a football-only member of the MAC.
Wow.
It's like Rutgers in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Playing in the same conference as UCLA. Or of course, Stanford on the Pacific Coast in the Atlantic Coast Conference, along with Cal.
As one texter just said, you all call out Northern Illinois in the Mountain West better than Cal and Stanford in the ACC.
Right.
I mean, I live that. I'm living that. Okay, like I had to stay up until like 11 o'clock one night last season to watch Duke play Cal. I'm like, what is this? Like this is not right. Something needs to be done.
You're lucky you don't live in the East on the Atlantic Coast, then you really have to stay up late.
Yes. So, oh man, don't get me started. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, he's back after a week off with a hoarse voice. Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet NHL Insider, will join us coming up next as we look ahead to tomorrow's NHL draft and more. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. We are live at First Horizon Park, where the Nashville Sounds will host the Gwinnett Stripers. First pitch is at 6:35 p.m. All of our coverage on 94.9 The Fan momentarily. We will be joined by Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet NHL insider. We hear he's doing a rehearsal for TV. The NHL draft starts tomorrow. Elliotte Friedman, incredibly telegenic, I would say. Mm-hmm. So he's just getting in some practice, but he'll join us as soon as he can. And when he does join us, he is presented by Old National Bank and Green Ventures Landscaping. And
can we give a quick shout out?
Yes.
While we await Elliotte. Great news today for a former Predator, Joel Ward, who was a assistant coach for the Vegas Golden Knights. They elevated their AHL coach to their head coach. They did not bring back John Tortorella. That opened up the head coaching position there, and they have put Joel Ward in that spot.
Yes.
So he is an AHL head coach.
Yes.
Good for Joel. I mean, one of the best
Absolutely.
guys. And full disclosure, the late Aaron Donick, Joel Ward, absolutely her top three favorite players, maybe only behind Pekka Rinne and Jussi Saros. But Joel Ward, he did some great things for Stars when he was here. He did a lot of great stuff in the community. He had famously, one of the big brother to, I forget Malik's last name, but kind of helped a young man while he was playing. And even after he left the Predators and went to other places, he stayed on it and made sure. And Malik has been a really good success story. Joel Ward is a man of a lot of different talents. I want that guy to do well.
Yes. I had the pleasure of covering Joel Ward as a player when he left Nashville and went to Washington.
Yes.
And he is an absolute.
You can't not like Joel Ward.
He has an infectious personality. It's awesome to see him doing so well. I know a lot of Predators fans, longtime Predators fans, will have a soft spot for Joel Ward. Which playoff run was Joel Ward like was that
for he earned a big he was an absolute nobody when he came to the Predators. So just nobody had heard of him. He had never played in the with any significant time in the NHL. He made the team, and 2010-2011
he had 13 points in 12 playoff games.
He had a great run.
2011,
the first playoff series the Predators ever won against the Ducks, and then they took the number 1 seed Vancouver to 6 games. He played some great hockey in that series, and then he got a big contract, and he had I think if I remember correctly, a Game 7 overtime winner
for Washington against Boston.
Against Boston.
In Boston.
Yeah. So yeah,
when Boston was the defending Stanley Cup champions. Let's go to our phone line, driven by Wilson County Hyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet NHL insider. Elliotte, I'm so glad you're feeling better. How are you?
Oh, I'm much better. Thank you. I appreciate you bearing with me last week. I lost my voice. I don't know what happened, but as my wife said, it was proof. I talk too much.
Well, Willy can relate.
Yes.
He lost his voice during a Predators broadcast earlier in the season, so he felt your pain. We're glad you're feeling better. So, Elliotte, since we did not speak to you last week, the Predators have made 2 trades since we last spoke to you. Ross Colton and Jack Drury, both from the Colorado Avalanche. What do you think these trades tell us about Chris McFarland's intentions for the Predators this upcoming season?
Well, I think the main thing is that if whatever changes you guys make right now at the very short, Adam, it gives you a lot more depth, particularly at center, than you had. And I think that the way that the Predators are looking is we have to add everything. Like I was asking around because I knew I was coming on the show today. Like, what do you guys think the Predators are going to do with the draft? And someone said to me, they're going to get the best possible player. Like they're not fixated on position. They're not fixated on, what we need this right now. It is just get the best possible player to bring players into our system. And that's what they wanted to do. Now, the thing about Colton that's interesting is that this is a huge year for him. And that this is his last year of his contract, and he has a chance, if he has a good year, to get a big deal the way these contracts are going now. I think what's going to be interesting about it is it's either going to be in Nashville and he plays really well and the team plays really well this year, or he has a great year, and at the deadline, if Nashville's out, maybe they can get even more for him. But I just think right now the word on the Predators is let's just get better. Let's just bring in more good players. And that's, I think, what they're trying to do.
Elliotte, I have this image of your phone caught on fire just because of all of the action going on in the NHL over these past couple of days. Your phone, I'm sure, is overheating from all of the time you've been spending on it. We saw another big deal earlier today, Valeri Nichushkin being traded by Colorado to Columbus, but Alex Tuck on the move, Bo Byram on the move, Jordan Kyrou, Simone Nemeth, of course, Brady Tkachuk. And we were having this conversation the other day, Elliotte. I'm wondering if Chris McFarland could pounce on this seller's market and take advantage of these prices for quality players, because the Predators do have quality players. Do you see that happening?
I see the possibility of it, yes. You know, first of all, somebody joked with me after they made the deal for Drury. Someone joked with me that maybe that McFarland's Rolodex only had Joe Sakic's number in it. And I got a good laugh out of that one. Oh, here, let me just move away. They're playing. I'm on the draft floor, and they're playing some music right now. I'm just going to move out. But look, like, as you guys know, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, one of the issues there is a lot of the key Predators players have no trade or no move clauses. They have control. And I think that one of the things they're starting to do is just figure out, okay, how does everybody feel? And so far, they've kept a pretty good lid on it. I haven't heard anything unusual out of Nashville. I just think that right now, when it comes to McFarland, his goal is to simply, we're going to make this team better. And if he does, that's what I've heard, because I knew I was coming on. I was like, what are you hearing from Nashville? How can we get better? And I know it sounds stupid and it's not as in-depth as you'd like, but that is the message that he's been sending to other teams. I want to make us better.
Elliotte, now that we've seen so many notable players on the move, I just listed a lot of them. Which player are you now watching most closely?
Jason Robertson.
And what do you think is going to happen there?
From Dallas. Last I heard, they were about $2 million apart per season. It's a sizable gap. And one of the things that's interesting about that situation is that, like Tennessee, Texas is a no tax state, right?
Yes.
So I think they paid Rantanen 8 times 12. I think that's their offer to Robertson, and maybe a bit. There's probably some room to negotiate a bit, but I think that Robertson's at least $2 million away. And when you think about where he could go potentially, with Texas's tax advantages, not everywhere would that be a good trade-off. But I think that that's where they are right now, and I think Dallas is investigating trading him.
Now, Elliotte, in this year's draft, do you expect the Predators to put in a package to move up in the draft from the 10th spot, or do you expect them to stay at the 10th?
I think, honestly, Derek, I almost called you Anthony Mason.
Thinking the Knicks are the champions.
I'm about 8 inches shorter.
Hey, he did play at Nashville. He played at Tennessee State back in the day, Anthony Mason.
But I'm still a very physical, intimidating player, Derek.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Honestly, Derek, I think what's going to happen tomorrow night is that I think McKenna's going to go 1 to Toronto. And then I think you're going to see, depending on what happens from there, I think San Jose is going to take a player named Ivar Stenberg, another center second, I think. But after that, there's a really interesting situation near the top of the draft. There's a player from Ontario up here. His name is Caleb Malhotra. He's a really good young prospect. Vancouver has the number 3 pick, and they could use a player like that. But Vancouver's new head coach is Caleb Malhotra's father, Manny. And I don't know how everybody feels about this. So I think depending on what happens, what I bet is going to happen, Derek, is that I think as players start to come off the board, I think teams are going to, and somebody starts to drop or gets closer to where Nashville picks, they're going to get calls. And at that point in time, Chris McFarland and the scouting staff, they're going to decide, are we married to somebody who's dropping to us, or what's available here? Because they're going to be tempted. Someone's going to fall, and someone from behind is going to call them and say, hey, we've got a guy here. And McFarland's going to ask, what are you going to give me to do it? I guarantee you that will happen tomorrow.
And Elliotte, another sort of macro question without getting into the weeds on the prospects, because, you know, I know that's not your area of emphasis. And then our listeners, we don't get a chance to watch these guys anyway.
Right. You guys,
but,
it's not like college football. I understand.
Right. So do you think the quality of player at 10, this is a pretty good year to get somebody at 10?
I think that it's not the best year, but it's not a terrible year. We have two draft experts, and one of them thinks there's a group of 6 and then another group of 6, so 10 would be in the bottom of his second group. Another one, he's got like a group of 9 and then a group of 5, so 10 is right after his first tier. So you'd be getting a guy who I would say at 10, wouldn't I necessarily say like an A, probably like an A- B+ player based on what these guys believe.
Let's turn our attention to the market. And I think it's something to keep our eye on here with regards to Jack Drury, who is a restricted free agent. They're going to need to sign a contract. We asked you a couple weeks ago when Michael McCarron signed his deal. It was a great indicator of where the market is going, especially for centers. And so we had this thought today, just looking at some projections that we're seeing. Is it inconceivable that Jack Drury, in the first year of his new contract in this new market, is going to make about the same as Ryan O'Reilly in the final year of his old contract, which is considered one of the best bang for your buck deals in the league?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
So what does that say? Like, it's just people will have a hard time grasping that, right? But it's just where the cap is going.
I understand that, Willie. Like, I do. Like, but I think that is a little bit easy. Like, for example, Tage Thompson, American hero Tage Thompson, so yesterday, last night, Buffalo signed a player named Zach Benson, who's a really good young player for them, had a great playoff, to a contract extension that I think is $300,000 more a year than Tage Thompson. And people were like, "How Zach Benson's good, but how can he make more than American hero Tage Thompson?"
Right.
And I'm like, it's a birth certificate, right? Like, the cap was somewhere when Thompson signed, and now the cap is somewhere else. And it's just that it's gone a lot higher, and that's just the way it goes. Like, the cap goes up, and that's the way I would say it. Like, I understand why you'd look and say, how can Jack Drury be making the same as Ryan O'Reilly? Like, I get it, but sometimes if you're born a little bit later, the cap goes up higher, you reap the rewards. I mean, there's not much you can really do about it.
Another concept we've discussed here, because Chris McFarland has had a theme of saying, I'm looking for those players in their mid-20s. That's what the roster right now lacks.
One thing you will learn about Chris McFarland is he says the same thing a lot.
Okay, so we're going to pick up on the themes, right? That was probably good to have a professor like that in college.
Yeah.
Just keep pounding into my head the general
Like
themes.
I heard he's been saying we just need to get better. We need better players. We need to get better. Yes.
So he has his sights set on those middle 20s guys, which are not easy to find. Drury is in that range.
Yeah.
We saw the deal for Simone Nemitz and how much Calgary was able to how much they had to give up for a player like that and then commit to that player. There's a couple other guys out there like Mason McTavish. You hear some stuff about Mishkov in Philadelphia.
Guys, I have to take a call here. Please excuse me.
Yes.
Okay.
This is up the moment. This could be big.
This could be big.
Might we have a scoop on the other side of this call?
Well, I'll have to monitor Twitter.
I don't think he took a pause to answer my question.
Yes. Let me
Supposed to be
think about
somebody
that.
Who do you think's on the line? Who do you think's on the line?
Let
Who's
me
calling?
think about that.
Wayne Gretzky on the other line,
That's a good question.
or is it his wife? Like I
Either
gotta
or.
take this.
Either or, he got
Both very important people.
Well, I'm just looking at
Yeah.
Twitter, so to find out.
He had to.
Yes.
Oh man, that had to be big.
Yeah. So let's leave everybody on that cliffhanger and take a break. 615-737-1025. Yeah.
Do you think this is going to be a long conversation?
I don't know. Do you
We
think?
just traded X for Y. Thank you. Tweet. I'm back.
Okay, we'll give him a couple
I
minutes.
don't know.
We can give him a couple minutes.
It has to be something important. You know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do that very
Yeah.
often.
No.
Breaking news.
And I would like I believe it's safe to say that each week when he comes on for 15 minutes, during those 15 minutes, he usually gets some ticks.
Oh,
and some
absolutely.
calls.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
the
This
fact
is-
that he
this is
had to
VIP.
take the call.
Has that ever happened, Willie? Where
We had to bolt.
where somebody had to bolt because it was an important call,
one of-
breaking news. Boom, they
I
got to
don't
go.
know. It wasn't for that, but I remember one time we were talking to Steve Spurrier, and it was Steve Spurrier, big time. You know, this was not when he was coaching Florida, but he was coaching South Carolina, and we were so excited. We got Steve Spurrier on the line. We were talking to Coach Spurrier, and you know, we'd have a few minutes. It was good. It was good, and all of a sudden he goes, "Guys, I got to go right now. See you later." I mean, he just ended it right in the middle of, like, we were having this great. Oh, get Steve Spurrier on. This is awesome. Guys, I got to go. Click. I've enjoyed talking to you guys. Got to go.
Dylan and Antioch says, "What is happening?" We will find out. We will take a break. 615-737-1025. Hopefully, Elliotte Friedman will rejoin us on the other side. We're going to be monitoring Twitter for the next 5 minutes. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Elliotte Friedman has not called back. Hopefully everything is okay.
Yes.
We assume he's getting a juicy tip from a source. I have not seen anything from Elliotte Friedman on social media, but we hope he will call back and rejoin us because we always enjoy our conversations with Elliotte Friedman. One trade he is not breaking, and this is a real name. I do appreciate this. The New Jersey Devils acquired a player today from the Detroit Red Wings. His name is Amadeus Lombardi.
Oh,
Wow.
Amadeus Lombardi. What a great name.
Wow.
I know
I would
nothing
have
about
never
him.
known you could put those two names together.
Really? Yeah, exactly.
That's odd.
Amadeus.
Right. So Falco will be the theme song played. Amadeus when he joins the team. There's no question. It's a no-brainer.
Yes. One texter says on Elliotte having to leave the program briefly, that is Adam when his wife calls about picking up Uncrustables. That
Possibly.
all right. We've got
back.
we've
Okay.
got Elliotte Friedman of Sportsnet back on the line. Elliotte, thank you for rejoining us. Hopefully everything is okay.
Yeah. It's. I'm not going to say what it is. I can't yet, but it's been something I've been working on. So
Okay.
like, there's some stuff brewing tonight, but this is not. It's not done yet. So I can't say it. Believe me, I love it. If it was Predators related, I would have said, look, I'm on national radio right now and I want to do it, but it's not. So I can't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
But you said this could be significant. It could be, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a significant player.
Okay.
okay. All right.
We're
well,
intrigued.
we will keep an eye on it. But before you had to leave, Elliotte, we were talking about the younger players, the mid to low 20-somethings who have been traded. Nemitz has been traded. There's rumors about McTavish. There are rumors about Michkov. Willy, it was your
so
question.
What do you think about the market and the assets it's taking to get a guy like that? Because that McFarland, as we said in the previous segment, seems like he's interested in that type of player at that age.
Yes. Well, look, like we just saw a guy, Bowen Byram, who's 25, got traded for the 4th overall draft pick. Like those trades like that haven't happened in like 20 years. And so what I think has happened this year, guys, is that the cap is exploding after years of flat due to COVID. They went up $9 million last year. It's going up $9 million this year, and it's going up $9 million next year. So if you want to spend, everybody's got cap room. Everybody's got pressure from their fans to be better. Everybody's got the free agent class. The 2 best free agents are already gone. Alex Tuck and Charlie Coyle. There really aren't a lot of free agents out there to make an impact, if any at all. What's your only other way of getting better? Trade. So it was funny. Like I was talking to somebody today, and I said, "Who's out there in trade talk?" He said, "It would be faster if I told you who's not going to get traded this summer." He said there might be 20 players in the league that nobody would trade. So like it is crazy out there, and people are desperate to get better, and that's why, especially like a team like Chicago. Like they have a lot of picks and prospects. They need established players. I think in a lot of other situations, if they didn't have the draft picks they did, they wouldn't have made that trade. But I just think the pressure on these teams to get better is enormous, and trade this year is really the only way to do it with the lack of high-level free agents out there.
I think we see the why of Chicago. We talked about this in our sphere of influence, where a lot of people are wondering, would it be best for what would it be like if the Predators decided to take it all the way down to the ground floor like Chicago? But Chicago, like you said, wants to accelerate this process. They're getting tired of spinning the wheels here. But if you take that away, did you agree with the consensus that was a very one-sided deal against the Blackhawks, that they shouldn't have given up as much as they did?
So initially when I first heard it, I was like, what? Like I was surprised as anybody else. As a matter of fact, like I'd heard that the 4th overall pick was going probably about 20 minutes before I reported it, just because I wasn't sure. Like I was like, I don't know if I feel like pressing send on this tweet, if I feel confident about it. And you know, I think what kind of happened was but then look, this is why I think they did it. Number one, they have loved Bowen Byram for a long time. There are people on their staff. They had a chance to draft him when he in his draft year, and they passed. And there are some people who still there, like they've lusted after him ever since then. Number two, they have a ton of prospects and picks, a ton of them. And number three, Bowen Byram has wanted to be a number one defenseman. That is a confident kid. He had Cale Makar, one of the best in the world in Denver, and he had Rasmus Dahlin, who could become one of the best in the world in Buffalo. He wants to be number one. He's wired to be number one, and Chicago needs it. And I think you reach a point where you say we don't need potentials. We need real. And Chicago took the jump. You know what, guys? I hope it works because that means more teams will do it.
Elliotte, before we let you go, I am fascinated by what could happen with Connor Hellebuyck. And my question for you is, if that were to happen, if Connor Hellebuyck were to be traded, there's a lot of smoke around Florida, for instance, what would that mean for the Jets franchise? We know that Winnipeg has a hard time attracting free agents. It's not a place a lot of players want to go. And if a recent MVP and gold medal winning goalie leaves, what does that mean for the Jets?
It's tough. Like, they don't want to do this, Adam. They don't want to do this. Not one bit. But sometimes you get backed into a corner, and this is one of those times for Winnipeg. I think it's more likely than not he will be traded. I'll tell you this. You know where I think there's a chance he ends up? Carolina.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet NHL Insider, has been our guest on DMase, Vingan and Donick. He joins us every week during hockey season, and he is presented by Old National Bank and Green Ventures Landscaping. Elliotte, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the draft.
All right. Take care, boys.
615-737-1025. I wonder if that was the call that Elliotte got. Maybe something about Connor Hellebuyck.
Could have been.
Was it Carolina on line one?
I don't know.
Can you imagine if Carolina gets Hellebuyck? It's always been sort of the area that they have let be average and just figured we won't spend the money there. We'll spend the money elsewhere, and we'll be so good that we just need good goalies that don't get us beat. If they have a goalie that's a difference maker, wow. If they pull that off. And because they have a lot of cap space, they have a lot of assets. They've been very smart, Carolina. Very smart.
And, I mean, I'm sure Predators fans wouldn't be upset if the Jets stunk. But I do wonder what that would mean for Winnipeg. That is an organization that has struggled to bring in high-profile players. Nobody really wants to play in Winnipeg now. Mark Scheifele signed long-term along with Hellebuyck. But Hellebuyck apparently might want out already. Like, if the Jets take it down, it's going to be really hard for the Jets to build it back up because unlike our wonderful city, Winnipeg does not have many of those advantages.
And they love the sport up there. But it's the smallest arena in the league. It's in the Central where it's you got to bring it to the table if you want to do well in the Central. But I do think that is something to watch. If Connor Hellebuyck is traded, especially to the East, there's a lot of talk of Florida trying to make a move to get Hellebuyck.
Yeah.
And most of the time, a guy like that, a team is going to, if there's any way to do it, you're going to trade him to the other conference so you don't have to watch him within your own division or your own conference go back at you because they know Hellebuyck is a great player. But Winnipeg has been struggling as a market. It's a small market. Even as much as they love hockey, the economics of filling that building every night have been a struggle, even when they've been good. So if they rebuild, I worry about that franchise. But their loss is Nashville and everybody else's in the Central's game because Winnipeg has been a really good winning team most of the time for the last decade or so.
One texter says, I mean, it would be the closest thing to relegation as you get for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
If the Jets were to lose
but you
Connor
kind
Hellebuyck.
of, if you're sitting there and you're Chris McFarland, you're trying to figure out, okay, I got the 3 big grizzly bears at the top. I got Colorado. I got Minnesota. I got Dallas. We know they're going to be good. You got Utah that's looking like they're moving in the right direction. How do can we get into the playoffs even if we wanted to? Now, if you're telling me Chicago's still not there and you're telling me Winnipeg has traded Hellebuck, it changes the picture a little bit, right?
615-737-1025. I guess we will be closely monitoring Elliotte Friedman's Twitter account because it sounds like something big is brewing. Something is brewing. 615-737-1025. We'll take your reaction, and we will wrap up the show coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
Their system to help people because we know the interest rates are high. There's maneuvers you can make, and if you haven't taken them up on it yet, find out more about Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Their process is great. You can use the equity in your home to access thousands of dollars in cash to help you put that money to use, whether it's a home improvement project you've been thinking about or just to simply pay some bills that have those high interest rates that you're having trouble cutting into. One client got $100,000 approved from his home's equity, saved over $1,500 a month net. And with Loan Pronto, you can do all of this from your phone. Zero out of pocket as well. So all you got to do is call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. See how much you can get, see how much you can save, all in about 60 seconds. 2,800 5-star Google reviews. It's Loan Pronto. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you live at First Horizon Park. Fans filing in for tonight's game between the Sounds and Gwinnett Stripers. First pitch, 6:35 p.m. on 94.9 The Fan. Dylan in Antioch says, Elliotte left that little nugget at the end. That's got to be it. So Dylan thinks the call Elliotte took when he had to leave our show unexpectedly was about Connor Hellebuck being traded to Carolina. Because Elliotte left us with that little piece of information at the end.
If I had to guess, could be Carolina.
Yes.
His last words was walk-off.
Yes. So makes you think.
You never know.
You never know. Darcy on our text line says, the thing I'm thinking about is the bidding losers for Connor Hellebuck. They might view UC Soros as a consolation prize and give a big offer.
Well, of course, UC Soros has the no movement clause.
Correct.
So you have to go down that road if you're going to go down that road. At this point, we'll see what direction Chris McFarland decides to take. I do think this, with the changing market, and I think if there's one thing you take away from this show, whether you like certain trades or don't like certain trades, and you think it's costs a lot or this, Alex Tuch signing $10.5 million, which is higher than any Predator has ever made. And Alex Tuch is a good player. He's not an all-star. We just talked, somebody asked about Matt Wood. Could he be a superstar? Alex Tuch is not a superstar. Fair to say?
Yeah, he's not a superstar.
In this new market, making $10.5 million, that's just going to be a good top six forward. And so keep that in mind as you go forward. So a contract like UC Soros that is $7.74 million.
Yep.
That's nothing in the years to come. And I said this years ago when we knew the cap was going up. It doesn't break your bank anything close to it. It's a good contract. And he has the no move clause. Same thing with Marchessault. Now at Marchessault at 5 point whatever.
5.5 or 5.25.
That's a easily people have plenty of cap space for that. It's a matter of, can you get Marchessault to buy in if you wanted to trade and say, are you on board with this? Even Stamkos at $8 million at his age. Very, very economical for what he has produced the last year. So just keep that in mind. The quote unquote bad contracts that people have referred to in the old system, I saw the argument. Where the market is going now, those are not bad contracts now.
They're going to end up being fair contracts.
Yes,
yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Well, as Elliotte told us, the word he's kept hearing from around the league on Chris McFarland is the Predators are just trying to get better. They're trying to get better. You probably heard McFarland himself say that earlier today. And this is what we talked about a little bit yesterday. I'm wondering if McFarland can do a little bit of both. So I think I used this example yesterday. Before the Panthers traded for Brady Tkachuk, they made a trade with the Seattle Kraken and got the 25th overall pick in the draft, and then used that pick along with their 9th overall pick, a future first-round pick, and a second-round pick to bring in Brady Tkachuk. So could Chris McFarland make a deal involving one of the key Predators players? In certain situations, the players would have to sign off on it. But could McFarland trade one of those players, net a lot of draft capital or a top prospect, and then package that with assets they already have to take a really big swing on a player that could, in theory, make them better?
Do you think, Adam, I'll answer your question by throwing a question back at
Sure.
you. To me, it's not about one player right now. Like a big splash for one player.
Yeah, they're not one player away or anything
They're
like
not
that.
one player away, but if it's a guy who's 26 or something like that, that's worth looking at for sure. But I think it's probably unlikely that they do something like that. I think they want to continue to sort of flood the prospect pool with as many good chances to have good players, really good players, everywhere in between as they can. And in the meantime, to me, we're just trying to get better. That falls in line with these moves that he made with Colorado. He just thinks that, Ross Colton and Jack Drury are not old players, and they are both better. And I don't think you can really argue. As much as people, the personalities of Fedor Svechkov and Zach LaRue are off the charts. We loved covering them. They're popular with the fans. but they're not as good. They've not accomplished as much anywhere close to what Ross Colton and Jack Drury have accomplished, right? So that's a definition of they made their team better. It's not a big splash, but on the margins, I think it's an improvement, at least for now. Would you agree?
Yes. One texter says, we need an update on if anybody's found a third ... baseman. I mean, I think there are some third basemen out there warming up for both teams. If you missed it at the beginning of the show, there is a wristband mixer here tonight at First Horizon Park.
Color-coded.
In the bandbox. It's color-coded. Whether you're single, you're taken, it's complicated, you're there for the vibes, what have you. And I said, maybe somebody is here looking for a third, baseman. So we'll see.
One of the workers have on a green. I see one of the guys in the blue shirt. He has on a green band.
He's
spoken for. Yeah. So people are wearing them.
So we'll come on out. I might walk over there just to take a peek.
Take a look.
Just to take a peek. I would put on the taken wristband.
I wonder where they come up with this idea, because the colored wristband, the only experience I had was that in the youth basketball league that my kids played in, they had a rule, and there were a couple of different leagues that did it. The West Nashville Sports League was one, and this church league that we played in right at the First Nazarene, right across the street from here. The rule was it had its upside and probably its downside. The young players, third, fourth grade, everybody wears a colored wristband, the 5 players on the court. And it was to teach you who you guarding, right?
Okay.
So if I'm guarding Derek, then he'll have an orange, I'll have an orange. Adam's guarding, they would both have red wristbands, which is good, but then if you got a mismatch, you're like, wait a minute, we got to switch the wristband. It's not working.
I can't guard
How do I
him.
make adjustments?
I don't know if there was a lot of switching happening.
Right, well, and that's the other thing. You were not supposed to switch, but that was hard to referee officially. The poor ref is like, I don't know. The coaches are yelling, he's got the wrong color on.
It may have caused a bigger
illegal.
problem. than
Illegal
anything.
defense.
You can't guard him.
So we'll see how the colors blend tonight out in the outfield.
Yes. World Cup action continues. Let's call it what it is. It's a meaningless game, I would say, for the United States. The U.S. has already won the group, I believe. Is it Turkey? Is that how you pronounce it? Turkey. How is it pronounced?
San Diego.
Yes. I'm going to go with Turkey. I apologize to all of our Turkish listeners. I believe Turkey has already been eliminated from the World Cup.
Can they improve their seed at all?
They still need to win.
You want to keep
the U.S.
the
team
going,
still
right?
needs to win.
But they've won Group D, if I am not mistaken. And the BBC has a fantastic tool where they project the knockout round as it stands based on the standings right now. So at the moment, the U.S. is slated to play Bosnia in the first round of the knockout stage, followed by a potential matchup between Egypt and South Korea.
Okay.
And
how many advance to the knockout? Is it 32?
It's 30. It's a 32.
So it used to go from 32 to 16. Now it's going from 48 to 32.
Yes. So,
it's an extra game.
So at the moment, the U.S. is projected to face Bosnia-Herzegovina in the round of 32. If they were to advance, they would play either Egypt or South Korea. There's a potential of a matchup with either Spain or Portugal beyond that.
Oh, boy.
So
that's where it's going to get real. But everything is, you never know. You just never know what you're going to see.
Yes. So
it's been exciting.
I do wonder how far the U.S. men's national team needs to go in order for this to be considered a rousing success. I mean, 2 wins already.
I would say Final Four. Just off the top of my head, this is just me not being a.
But the expectations was to get where they're at now.
Like winning the group, I thought it was a very reasonable expectation. Now that's 32, you got to win 2 games just to get to the final 8 in the knockout. They've never been past the final 8, right?
I believe that is
since
correct.
like way back, maybe 1930 something or whatever.
Don't you consider anything like
history?
Even if they get in the final 8, that's still a big
achievement.
It'd
be good.
I would consider a win in the first knockout game and being among the final 16
But they've been there before. They've been to the final 16 when there were only 32. Like I feel like they've gotten to the
they didn't have to win as many.
You're asking the wrong guy for
Well,
U.S.
me
men's
too,
soccer
me too.
history.
Everybody's got their own view.
Yes.
Like, is Pulisic playing tonight? Have you seen that? Like,
I have to imagine he's
he
not.
says he's ready.
He don't need to play.
He doesn't need to play.
They don't need him to play.
Right. You could play him for a few minutes, take him out, or you could wait,
Give him a sweat.
have him dressed, and then come in if you need him, or not. Or just get him a few minutes, or just sit him.
One texter says they need to beat England in Philadelphia, and everything else after that doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Man, England, they're always full of drama. Always full of drama.
The other matchups today in the World Cup. Ivory Coast defeated Curacao 2-0. Ecuador defeated Germany 2-1.
Ooh, big win for Ecuador.
Japan plays Sweden. Tunisia plays the Netherlands, and Paraguay plays Australia. So those are the other matchups today.
Paraguay and Australia are in the U.S.
Yes, they're in the group. They're
Yeah.
in the U.S. group. One texter said, yesterday you guys mentioned the Predators' historic trend of first-round misses. Do you think Chris McFarland makes wholesale changes to the scouting department after the draft?
I'm curious about that. I don't know about clearing the decks of everybody, but I think what we've seen so far is he has blended, bringing in a couple of guys that he's familiar with that have outside viewpoints, different perspectives. They have different networks, like Jamie Langenbrunner to the Boston, where he has been an assistant GM. That's been a place where people have done a lot of winning. And you've got Rob Blake, who we talked about today, of being sort of a rival GM of McFarland in the same division for the Kings for a long time. And he mentioned Rob Blake has a very, very deep friendship with Joe Sakic, which is Chris McFarland's big mentor from Colorado when they played together. So I would imagine over the years, maybe you sprinkle in some more outside eyeballs.
But you don't do no wholesale changes in the scouting department.
Yeah, and it's hard to come in when he came in and just clear everybody out right before the draft. Like the groundwork's already been laid on that. So that's something to watch down the road. He was even asked specifically about the decision about Andrew Burnett today. And he said, it didn't make sense to come in. He said, I want to get to know Andrew Burnett and the coaching staff. And then as we go forward with the season, then he'll evaluate and kind of go from there. Maybe we'll find Andrew Burnett is a really good match for Chris McFarland. You might find the opposite. And he's got the flexibility to sort of wait and see right now.
One texter says, does it feel like insider trading with Chris McFarland and his former team because of the two trades he's made so far? I mean, Chris McFarland clearly has inside information.
Yes. Well, he admitted that today.
Yes, okay.
He said I had a pretty good idea that those two players were available.
Because before he took this job, he probably knew.
He was in there. They talked about it. He was in the meetings with all those guys.
Yes. So there's nothing that says he can't trade with his old team.
That's not insider trading.
No,
that's
not at all.
Yeah.
Not illegal whatsoever. That'll do it for us today. We will be back tomorrow live from the BetMGM Sports Lounge inside Bridgestone Arena as the Predators prepare for the first round of the NHL draft. Remember, we have draft coverage starting right after our show tomorrow, featuring Willy Donick and a cavalcade of other Predators broadcasters. In the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay cool. It's hot as hell out here, and it's only going to get hotter. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Be loving your people. Have a safe, blessed, and wonderful day. I love you. The team loves you. You hear that music. Don't you forget about us, because we will not forget about you. You will hear us on these airways once again. Start at 3 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. And as I always say, we're going to be talking there.
You're going to be listening.
Peace.